guys, this is Jeff from Evans Tuning. In today's Daily Tune episode, we're going to be tuning an AP1 Honda S2000. It has a P-tuning turbo kit with a GTX 3076R turbo, P-tuning exhaust, ID 1000cc injectors, drop-in fuel pump, and it's going to be tuned on AEM Series 2 EMS on 93 octane. So we're going to get this on the dyno and see what we can make. I actually do boost by speed on these. Okay. And I do that anyway. So yeah, it'll ramp, like the boost will taper from whatever it is off the spring. Okay. Usually by the top of second, it can handle whatever this is gonna make on pump gas. Like, so, you know, let's say it makes 500 or something, it'll be able to handle it.
I don't think it's gonna make 500 though.
I don't know. Let's see.
I'll leave it to you.
It's just on, you're on 93, right? 93, yeah. So. I probably had you on an old firmware version of the so I'm gonna update you to the new stuff, okay. And then I'm gonna all the new features that I have. There's things like the per cylinder knock control. Okay. So if it sees knock in a particular cylinder, it actually detunes that cylinder on the fly.
Oh, really?
You know, obviously it's going to have like the closed loop wideband, but it's going to have a lean protection, an overheating protection. It'll have a shift light if I didn't put one on there before, and then the check engine light will actually turn on to tell you like it's overheating.
Really?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other like features that have added. So I'm gonna make sure you're on the latest stuff. Okay. Because I have everyone on it. And I don't know, I think the files work way better. So I had previously tuned this car maybe almost roughly 3 years ago. It had a Craftworks supercharger kit. So the owner wanted to switch it out for a P-tuning turbo kit. But when I tuned it, it had an older version of the AEM Series 2 firmware. That particular version didn't allow me to do a bunch of advanced features that I can do now with the latest firmware. So I'm going to be doing a firmware flash and updating the firmware and then installing one of my files that I start with that has all these additional features enabled, such as per cylinder knock control, overheating protection, lean protection. You know, there's a variety of things. Plus, there's some improvements in the way some of the Excel fueling is done with the software, with the Excel tip-in. So your throttle modulation, where it adds additional injector pulse. It's more accurate with this latest firmware. So I'm gonna be doing that right now, and then get the car fired up and start the tuning process. It blew a charge pipe. Yeah. Yeah, right at the intercooler.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I should just pull the bumper real quick.
Zip tie on this side. So pull this bumper on this. Okay. There's nothing on that side.
Yeah. Should be good. Just check the other side real quick. These are the worst ones I could pop. Like behind the bumper, you can't get to it. That one's super tight. That one's good. Yeah, that one's good. Yeah, it was just that one. That's weird.
Guess I missed that one.
So I went to make the first pull and popped a coupler at the intercooler. So we just pulled the bumper real quick, tighten that back up, check the other couplers, they're all tight. Part throttle is tuned, so now I'm just doing the boost pull. So we're gonna do a pull off the wastegate spring, and then we're gonna actually start turning it up with the boost solenoid that's installed on here and set up the boost by speed. So we're gonna get that started and hopefully don't pop any more charge pipes. So I made a few pulls, and it looks like the owner had said there was a 10 psi spring installed in the wastegate. Looks like there's approximately like maybe 11 or 12 psi spring, but it's actually boost creeping all the way up to around 16 pounds or so. So I'm not going to end up setting up any boost control because it's already running a decent amount of boost for 93 octane. Right now we're making right around 460, 465 wheel. At that 16 psi at redline. It's getting close to being fully mapped out. Right now I'm just tweaking some of the O2 feedback control. It has a little too much oscillation at idle, and I'm taming down the PID control. I'm taming down the P term proportional so that it doesn't aggressively try to attack the target air fuel as much. You notice it's a bit of idle fluctuation. So now that I fixed that, the idle seems like it's smoothed out. Probably make 1 or 2 more pulls, and and then probably be close to being able to wrap this up. It's a pretty straightforward tune. We do a few of these a week, S2000, supercharge and turbocharge. So it's not tremendously difficult to do. But overall, this thing's making pretty good power band. So it's about where it should be for power. Spring that's in that wastegate, like it might be like a 10 or 11, but it's creeping up to like 16. Yeah, I can't turn up the boost with the boost solenoid itself because it's naturally doing that. Okay. So like the boost solenoid basically zeroed out, turned off. It's still hitting about 16 and a half pounds, which is the most I'd ever want to run anyway, 93.
Yeah, I mean, a little higher than I thought though.
Yeah, and the last few pulls, it's like at 490 to 500 wheel. So I don't.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so I can't go down.
Okay.
And if I remember right on the P tuning kits, we ran into this before, they do boost creep.
Yeah, they have the...
And they give the restrictor? Yeah.
I didn't install it because I didn't want the restriction or whatever.
Right.
But,
I don't know. It should be like the way I have it set up is conservative.
Yeah.
And it has the per cylinder knock control and the lean protection, so like I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Okay.
But
if you think it's not going to be an issue, then
yeah, I mean it's tuned very conservative.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't done a P tuning kit for quite some time now, but I remember that we had to play around the restrictors before because of this.
Yeah, because I didn't think it really needed, but
It does.
Yeah.
This is the design of the manifold.
Yeah.
It's just the way the exhaust gas has to get out of the gate.
Yeah.
It can't get it out enough, and then it creeps. especially high RPM. So your boost plot, like it goes up to like, you know, like say 10 pounds at like 4,000, and then as it just goes up in RPM, it just like kind of just does one of this, like slowly creeps up to that, like towards like red line. So, but I mean, it's good otherwise. So I just wrapped up tuning this AP1 S2000 with a P-tuning turbo kit. We put down 500 wheel and 320 torque. Boost creeping from right around 10 pounds, creeps all the way up to about 16 pounds at redline. I was gonna set up the boost by speed with the boost solenoid, but because it is creeping up that high, I don't wanna go up in boost anymore. This is an 11-to-1 compression motor on 93 octane, so we're limited by octane. It certainly could make way more power if we increase the boost with E85 or race gas, but the car is gonna be a street car, it's gonna be used for that. So we're gonna leave it where it's at. I do have a bunch of fail-safe protection set up in the tune, knock per cylinder, lean protection. I have closed loop O2 protection, or closed loop O2 control under vacuum and boost. So it's always gonna try to maintain the target air fuel that I've programmed. There's a bunch of things set up so that it will have the best chance of living at that kind of power level, and the tune is conservative. So with all that going for it, I see no issue with this running long-term like this. So thanks for joining in today. Subscribe, like our channel, and see you guys in the next episode.